Hello, welcome to OJ Studios, please enjoy Going Home. By Lacey Rice. My grandma drove up to the front of my house and parked her car. I looked out of the passenger side window and contemplated what was happening. I looked down at the borrowed lace pink dress and the white tights that I was wearing. They were my cousin Savannah's, and I couldn't help but feel a bit out of place. The borrowed dress didn't quite fit right, and the white tights were a stark contrast to my usual wardrobe. As I sat in the passenger seat, I took a deep breath and tried to shake off the nerves. My mom's car was in the driveway, and that meant she was home, and she would see me in this stupid girly dress. Grandma turned off the ignition and smiled at me. "Ready to go home, dear?" she asked. I wanted to tell her no. I wanted to beg her that the dress that I was wearing wasn't what I wanted to wear home. The grocery sack that contained my still damp jeans and t-shirt laid on the floorboard right between my feet now had pink Mary Jane shoes on them. My normal tennis shoes were nowhere around me. One of them is in Grandma's trash can, the other is somewhere in the lake behind Grandma's house. I hesitated for a moment before nodding, not wanting to disappoint my grandma. She patted my hand reassuringly and got out of the car. As I stepped out onto the driveway, I could feel the unfamiliarity of the dress sway in the soft wind, and the tightness of the tights. I looked around and made sure that no one I knew was around to see me. I'm sure the sight of me in a dress would be the talk of my small town for years to come, if the wrong person saw me. I walked to my front door, my discomfort growing with every step. The borrowed dress swished around my legs, and I longed for the comfort of my jeans and t-shirt. I heard Grandma's car start up and I turned to see her drive away from my house, leaving me alone. I fumbled with the keys, nervously trying to unlock the front door. As I stepped into the house, the familiar scent of home enveloped me. The clash of my unconventional attire against the backdrop of our living room intensified my discomfort. I tiptoed towards the staircase, hoping to reach the safety of my room unnoticed. The creaky steps betrayed my attempt to sneak past undetected, and before I could make it to the top, my mom emerged from the kitchen, a puzzled expression on her face. Her eyes widened when they fell upon me in the pink lace dress and white tights. I'm sure she wasn't expecting me to be wearing this stupid thing. "Wyatt!" she exclaimed, setting down a dish she was drying. "What's going on?" I gulped, feeling a lump forming in my throat. "It's a long story, Mom," I stammered, avoiding eye contact. She crossed her arms, a mix of concern and curiosity etched on her face. "Well, you better start explaining. Why are you wearing that dress?" I hesitated, unsure of how to put the day into words. "I was playing soccer with Savannah near the lake that is behind Grandma's house, and I accidentally fell into the lake while catching the ball," I said. My mom's expression softened as she listened to my explanation. She let out a small chuckle. "Well, that explains the wet jeans and the missing shoes. But why are you wearing a dress for?" I sighed, trying to find the right words. Grandma didn't have any spare clothes for me. My last pair of spare clothes I used last week after I went swimming in the lake. So, the only clothes that Grandma had to let me borrow was clothes from Savannah. "But she doesn't wear dresses that much," Mom said. "She's mostly a tomboy." "Yeah," I said, agreeing with her. But the only clothes that she had at Grandma's was the Easter dress that she wore on Easter. And the only shoes that would fit me are these. I held out the dress shoes in front of me so that Mom could see them. "That explains the dress and the dress shoes, but why are you also wearing the tights for?" Mom asked. "Because Grandma told me that I had to," I said. My mom raised an eyebrow, a bemused smile playing on her lips. "Grandma told you that you had to wear tights too? That's quite the ensemble you've got there, Wyatt." I nodded, a bit embarrassed. "Yeah," she said, "I needed to wear everything Savannah had on that day, just to make sure everything was returned properly." I looked down at the dress and then back up to Mom. "Now, can I please take this off and get back into my normal clothes?" I asked impatiently. All I wanted to do is get out of this stupid dress. "Well, I just have one more question," Mom said, folding her arms. "What?" I asked. "So why did Grandma tell me that you lost a dare with Savannah while playing by the lake and that the deal for the dare was that you would wear her dress for the rest of the day?" Mom asked, now putting her hand on her hip. Oh no! I thought to myself. Grandma must have called her while I was changing. Fine! I said with a sigh. Savannah and I made a bet that she couldn't score a goal against me, and she ended up getting the ball past me, and she scored. I put the dress on like we agreed, and while I was in the bathroom, Savannah stole my clothes and dunked them into the lake so I would have to come home wearing this. Mom's eyebrows shot up in surprise, a mix of amusement and disbelief on her face. A bet over a soccer game led to all of this? She couldn't help but chuckle. Well, that's quite the turn of events, Wyatt. I nodded, feeling a bit relieved to have the truth out. Yeah, it was just supposed to be a friendly bet, but Savannah decided to add her own twist to it. Now, can I please get out of this dress? I said, now begging. Nope. Mom said. If you had told me the truth in the beginning, I would have let you, but since you lied to me, I think you can wear that dress until bedtime. My shoulders slumped as my mom declared my fate. I had hoped that honesty would earn me some mercy, but it seemed that the consequences of my actions were inevitable. But Mom, it wasn't entirely my fault, I pleaded, hoping to appeal to her sense of reason. She raised an eyebrow, clearly not buying my attempt to shift the blame. Wyatt, you made a bet, and you should have known there could be consequences. Besides, lying about it only makes things worse. I nodded, acknowledging my mistake. I know, Mom. I should have been honest from the start. I just didn't want you to think I was doing something silly. Mom sighed and softened her expression. I understand, Wyatt. But lying only complicates things. Now, you'll have to face the consequences of your actions. Learn from this, okay? I nodded again, defeated. The discomfort of the dress and tights seemed to intensify as I realized I was stuck in them for the rest of the day. Mom couldn't help but chuckle at my dismay. Come on, let's finish drying those dishes, and then you can do your homework. Maybe the dress will give you some inspiration, she teased, lightening the mood. As we continued with our evening routine, I couldn't help but think about the choices I made. It was a lesson learned the hard way, and I vowed to be more cautious in the future. The sound of the dress swishing with every movement served as a constant reminder of my adventure by the lake. The evening passed slowly, and bedtime approached. Mom finally gave in, allowing me to change back into my usual clothes. She went with me up to my room where she had me turn away from her so she could unzip the back of the dress and untie the bow. The relief was palpable as I shed the dress and stepped into my comfortable boy pajamas. As I lay in bed, I reflected on the day's events. It was an unexpected turn of events, but I realized that sometimes life throws curveballs, and it's crucial to face them with honesty and humility. Tomorrow was a new day, and I was determined to navigate it with more caution and integrity. Little did I know that this day would become a humorous family story, retold during gatherings, each time bringing laughter and reminding me of the importance of honesty and the consequences of friendly bets.